Hey everyone, welcome back to Trigonometry. This will be part B of lecture 4, and this is just going to be a quick addendum to that lecture. And in this section, I want to talk through what I would tend to call a cheat sheet or a reference sheet for commonly used values of cosine and sine. Now, up to this point, we have identified quite a few exact values of sine and cosine. Specifically, all the values listed here in the first quadrant we will have identified or derived from different properties. And so once we've done that, I don't really think it's the best way to proceed is by rote memorization. I think as long as you understand where these values come from and how they were derived, as we went over in the lecture. And in some cases, when we get outside of the first quadrant, as we get into the second, third, and fourth quadrant, I would have said, hey, now extend the result for pi over 3 to include 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. And so I would, my thinking on this is that once you understand where these come from, then we can use a reference sheet to identify these common values so that we can do a lot more in the course. We don't have to spend a tremendous amount of time always identifying exact values. So this is the unit circle cheat sheet. It's very often used in trigonometry courses to kind of, again, extend the kind of work we can do and the kinds of things we can look at. And so I just want to take a minute to walk you through how the cheat sheet is organized and how you can use it. So you'll see it says the unit circle cheat sheet, commonly used values of cosine and sine, and then you get this like ordered pair cos and sine, right? And so this is kind of the key here. So your ordered pair is cos and sine, and as you look down here at the circle, you'll see a lot of ordered pairs here. So this one, for example, has a square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. The idea here is that the cosine of pi over 6 is the first entry in this ordered pair. So the cosine of pi over 6 is the square root of 3 over 2. And the sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. And so that same convention extends all the way around the circle, and you can see square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. The cosine and sine both have the same value at pi over 4. And if you look back in your notes, you'll see that that's indeed what we came up with when we were working on this as well. And you could just extend that throughout the entire unit circle. And so next time a problem comes up that involves maybe finding the sine of 5 pi over 4, you can come in here and quickly see that this is a value that we've looked at in the past, and indeed negative square root of 2 over 2 is what the sine of 5 pi over 4 is equal to. Okay, now this is a lot of unit circle cheat sheets will kind of stop there, but this one has a lot of other things in it which are nice. So it's got the decimal approximation of the radian measure. So pi over 6 is approximately 0.523 radians. And of course, pi radians is 3.14 approximately. And so you've got that piece of information in here. You've also got the degrees located out here. So 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60, 90, and 120, 135, 150, 180, and so on, right? So you can see the degrees are loaded into this cheat sheet. And of course, you've got cosine and sine, as I've already said, but additionally, you've got the tangent and the cotangent. Now, you wouldn't need that necessarily. I mean, we know that the tangent and cotangent can be derived from sine and cosine, right? But if you couldn't remember, or you were in more of a hurry to identify those values, they're loaded in here as well. So this is saying that the tangent of pi over 6 is square root of 3 over 3. Okay. And so, and the cotangent, of course, is the reciprocal, so the square root of 3. And yeah, so you've got all of the sine and cosine and the tangent and cotangent. Now, of course, you've also got secant and cosecant implicitly here as well. We know that the secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and so if the cosine is square root of 3 over 2, the secant is 2 over square root of 3, right, and so on. Right, so you've got all that information in here. Okay, now this cheat sheet actually, I got this off the internet, and you could just go out and Google unit circle cheat sheet or something, and this would pop up, something like this. And so this actually has some of the other things down here, the definitions, like the SOHCAHTOA definitions. You've also got the trig functions of any angle definitions, y over r, x over r, things that we've seen in the past. Okay, and so that is the unit circle cheat sheet, and I think we'll use it throughout the course. It'll come up here and there, and so I'll reference it. If it's not explicitly pictured in the lecture videos, I'll be referencing it behind the scenes, and so now you know where it's coming from, and you can, if it comes up in the lecture, you can pull up your cheat sheet and confirm indeed that the values I'm quoting are there. So again, short lecture, just a little add-on, something that I wanted to bring out in the lecture, but I forgot until after I'd recorded it. So the unit circle cheat sheet. And so I think that's all I need to say on it. Of course, it's relatively straightforward. So I think that's all I wanted to say on it. So we'll end it there, and we'll see you all in the next lecture.